Okay, everyone, great news. We have been given the news that we have a state of play coming June 2nd. So that is in a handful of days from here. And along with all the information that we got about the event, we also got some interesting leaks from supposed reliable sources. We'll get onto that in a little bit. So stay strapped in as we get to the actual topic at hand. So, Sony posted to their blog that they have a state of play that will be tuning in, or that we can tune into on June 2nd at 3 p.m. Pacific or 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So right then and there, we know we have an event. They went ahead and told us it's going to be about 30 minutes long. So that's actually a little longer than I think the last state of play, which was 15 minutes. Um, so from there, we know, okay, we're expecting a lot more content, hopefully a more jam-packed um, press conference, or conference that we can expect. So here is quote for quote what is said on the blog post. It says we will have some exciting reveals from our third-party partners, plus a sneak peek at several games in development for the PlayStation VR 2. So right there, that's a lot of information. So first, third-party partners. So right there, we obviously know about Square Enix creating Final Fantasy 16. That's one of the biggest third-party games that they have that's supposed to be releasing this year. And from all the information that we know, specifically from Yoshi P, the director of the game, he said that there's already a trailer that's been created and is just waiting to be released to the public, so us, which is great news. So I think at least we can expect seeing a Final Fantasy 16 trailer that will probably dive more into what's going to be happening in this new Final Fantasy, along with the story and the combat, and maybe some of the more specific things to this Final Fantasy versus the last Final Fantasy 15 had the whole traveling the land aspect with your group of friends. So that should be pretty interesting. Hopefully, we get at least a decent look at that. Another third party game we possibly could hear about would be Forspoken, but at least the rumor mill is saying that it's probably getting delayed. I would expect that to get delayed before Final Fantasy, just because from what the director's saying to us, Final Fantasy's done and just waiting to be released later this year. So then after that, I think for the third party games, that's probably all we're going to see. Because then the second half of this blog post says we have a sneak peek at several games in development for PlayStation VR 2. I feel like this is pretty big information. I think this is telling us that we're going to be seeing the PlayStation VR released in the upcoming, I want to say, like 10 months' time. I think the latest it's going to release is next March. I can see a March release date, them getting it out for spring. I think a holiday is possible, but we haven't seen enough of it yet to really determine that. I think this state of play will really let us know. I don't think they're going to announce pricing here. It would seem kind of weird, but I think we will see a lot of the games and all the applications, or what they're trying to push with this, whether it's the dreaded metaverse, or if it's just going to be some really cool VR experiences that we can play. So I think some of the VR games we're going to see is specifically Horizon Zero Dawn, or I forgot exactly what the name is of the Horizon game, but we've already seen from a leak about that specifically that that will be for sure at the conference. They were hyping that up in the leaked screenshot of PSVR info from the press conference. They showed all of the Sony heads and stuff. So that was one of the biggest things. And then the next thing we can probably expect, I think there will be another tack onto the horror game that I believe Supermassive made. So I think we could be looking at another um, or Until Dawn. So Until Dawn, we're going to look at another part for that, I believe. I don't think they're done with that franchise. I don't know if the same developers will be working on it, but I do think we will get another game for that. After that, I think we're going to get a deep dive into the technology and what we can expect from the PlayStation VR. Like, what's going to be the big step forward here? What experiences can we expect? I know we've had a lot of leaks of the actual specs of it, but like in a first person, or them showing us hands in hands how to use it. Think of like the Switch conference from 2016, I believe, in the summer, where they literally just showed everything about the Switch, what we can expect, and all those things. I think that's what this conference is going to be about. And sticking to that same tune, I do not think we will get pricing for it yet. Um, I'm thinking pricing is going to be pretty high, and I think that's what most people are thinking. It could be as close to $500, maybe more. So the same price as an actual PS5, hopefully not as scarce, but definitely going to be on the higher end. So I think they'll probably hold off to announce that pricing until like closer to the summer, if it's coming out for the fall, or the spring. I just don't see why they would announce that right now. They want to get everybody hyped, and they don't want to kill all that hype with an astronomical price, especially when people can't even get their hands on the console. So let's expect that. I think that's pretty plausible. I think we will see, like, other than those two, the Horizon Zero Dawn game and an Until Dawn game, I think we might see some Resident Evil like attachments. That's part of this also leak, quote unquote leak, that came out like 2 days after Sony announced this state of play. So I think we can definitely see, if anything, I think it would be like an add-on to Resident Evil Village, because they've already said there's more DLC for that game. So I think that is pretty spot on. Um, and then sticking to this, we're not gonna, I know for a fact we're probably not going to see anything of God of War. God of War is too big to be thrown into a state of play that already is packed with third-party games and VR games. It just wouldn't make any sense, because God of War is going to take all the eyes off all those things. No one's going to care after the event. Um, I think God of War is going to get its own specific event in July or August for the release. And so we will be looking forward to that. And it's definitely going to be a giant blowout conference of what's the story that we're looking forward. Who are the new characters? What's combat like? Is Atreus going to be possibly a playable character? Those are the big things we have to look forward to. Um, Other than that, there was a leak, so I'll put it up on the screen right now. It was an alleged leak for the state of play, and it looks like it's a picture of someone's laptop or monitor or something. That it literally shows date for like time frame, and like what specifically the things are that are going to be at the event. I'm definitely thinking this is fake. I think the last state of play there was a bunch of fake leaks too, and all of those were literally debunked right after the event. This just seems too good to be true. This literally got like put out on Reddit 2 days after they announced specifically what the event would hold, and then they announced the event. So then any person that just wants to troll could just obviously add all those things in. If you look at the thing, it has your third party games like Street Fighter 6, Forspoken, Little Devil Inside, and then it has some VR games. Um, like it even says PlayStation VR overview. Like it seems weird, but okay. And then Modern Warfare 2 VR, which is, I don't know if that's happening, but maybe. And then Resident Evil Village VR, which definitely I kind of believe that. Avatar and Resident Evil 4. I mean, the Call of Duty one, Modern Warfare 2, I feel like is pretty far fetched. I don't, unless this has been a long, like this has to be just for campaign too, if it's a thing. Um, I would imagine, because that'd be pretty crazy multiplayer trying to play VR. I don't think that'd be way too fast, but maybe I'm wrong. I've never really played VR at any level at all. I think I've only played Beat Saber like for like 2 minutes, and it was pretty fun. But I just can't imagine trying to play Call of Duty. Um, so yeah, that leak, I'm gonna go ahead and write that off as fake, and I think most people are, because there's been a couple other ones that have come out too that are like, hey, we have more information about the state of play. So don't, I would definitely be cautious on that. So um, I think the other third party partner development stuff we could hear about, like the last thing that possibly, or sorry, the like if we do hear about a first party game, I think the only thing we could possibly hear about is something like about a games of service for VR. I think that definitely will be possible. I think they might have like a first party game that's been in for development. Think of like PlayStation Home or something that would be akin to a Destiny-esque games of service game, because Sony's been harking on that. They really think that's the future, and they know it brings in a lot of money. So that's why they were able to fork out all that money to buy Bungie. They knew that it would pay off in the end, and along with it being paid off, they get a group of experienced developers who can definitely help bring the rest of these games to life at the end of this year. So I think if anything first party related, we'll hear about that for sure, for sure. So I mean that pretty much wraps it up. I think that's all we can expect from this event. Just think a couple third party games, nothing crazy. Final Fantasy trailer, maybe a little Devil Inside trailer, maybe something about Forspoken, and then the rest VR heavy. We're gonna hear from about Horizon, an Until Dawn game, possibly Resident Evil DLC, and then I think a games as service thing. That's just me saying that. Hopefully, we'll see if that's true. But yeah, thanks for tuning into the video. Let me know down below